This is Steam Deck, the most powerful gaming handheld in the world. Steam Deck is a full-featured gaming PC that lets you bring the games you love wherever you go. Full-size thumbsticks, analog triggers, and user-assignable buttons allow for portable gaming without compromise. Steam Deck's multi-touch display, dual trackpads, and gyroscope bring the full power of PC gaming to your hands. Your Steam games are already on your deck. Just sign in and play. Go beyond the included game storage with a microSD card. You can even stream games from another PC. Deck runs a new version of Steam focused on handheld gaming, with features you'd expect, like cloud saves, Steam Chat, and more. Steam Deck. Powerful, portable, PC gaming. Reserve yours now.
Here are 5 reasons why I love the Nintendo Switch Lite and why I think you should buy one too. The first reason is portability. The Switch Lite is ultra compact and, no pun intended, light. It's a handheld console first and foremost, so portability is at the forefront. The next reason is comfort. Since the Lite is so thin and lightweight, it's also super comfortable to hold in your hands. The third reason to buy a Lite is the flip cover. The official Nintendo Switch Lite flip cover is far and away the best case that I've ever used with any handheld console, and it just so happens to be an exclusive to the Switch Lite. The fourth reason is price. The Switch Lite is a full $100 cheaper than the standard Switch at $199, making it an excellent deal for those on a budget. And the fifth and final reason to buy a Switch Lite are the games. The Lite plays mostly all of the amazing games that the Nintendo Switch library has to offer, giving you access to thousands upon thousands of incredible games to play.
So much so that the short time I've had with the Pocket isn't enough for a full review. You have to remember that this thing not only plays games from original cartridges, it does so using a party trick called Field Programmable Gate Arrays, or FPGA. All you need to know is that FPGAs effectively mimic old consoles at the hardware level, and when you plug in a game, that cartridge thinks it's in an original Game Boy, or Lynx, or you get the idea, and couple that with a display custom designed to replicate vintage screens, quirks and all, and this conspires to be the most authentic retro handheld you can find. Throw in the fact that the Pocket also has music making software built in and support for independent games made with GB Studio, and there's a lot to talk about, which is why we're only giving you the core stuff today. With so much else to dive into, we really want to get under its skin. For now though, we'll go over its primary function, serving up vintage games in full fidelity. Pretty much the moment you pick this thing up, you know you're in for a treat. If the original Game Boy had been released today with Scandinavian design, this is probably what it would look like. The clean lines and monochrome aesthetic tell you that this is all about the game. There are no garish colours or cliche nods to the 90s here. Just one pop of colour on the left hand side for the power button, and that's as flashy as things get. The general layout broadly matches the first gen and Game Boy Color, with the screen up top and the controls underneath, though there are 4 thumb buttons instead of 2, as you'll be able to develop your own games for this yourself with GB Studio if you wish. There are shoulder buttons too, as per the Game Boy Advance. Fortunately, the display is thoroughly modern and not like the awful if much loved one from back in 1989. It's also handily 10 times the resolution on both axes, so it can serve up pixel perfect renditions of your favourite original Game Boy titles. Turn the Pocket on and the minimalist interface leads you straight into the good stuff, playing games. I won't lie, firing up Tetris for the first time and changing the Pocket's display mode to the original green and black Game Boy mode was quite the dash of nostalgia. I've played Game Boy games on several modern handhelds and none of them look like this. Even the pixel grid of the original is here, the motion blur if you want it, the sound, everything felt just as it did all those years ago. And the same goes for Game Boy Advance games. If you ever owned the first model of GBA, you'll painfully remember that it still didn't have a lit screen. The Pocket does, but everything else matches, including the slightly washed out look that comes with just colours on a non-illuminated LCD. You can of course jack things into a more modern display mode, but purists are going to love the attention to detail here. The authenticity doesn't stop at the fidelity of the games. The link port on the Pocket happens to be the same as the one found on the Game Boy Color and onwards. That means if you had the original hardware or another Pocket, you can play with friends just like you would have back in the proverbial day, and I mean literally with the same cable. I do have the original hardware and we're testing those features right now, which you'll see in our full review. And there's so much more to cover here that we kind of can't wait to show you it all. There's the dock accessory for playing on a TV with real controllers, there's the aforementioned music making app, then there's Analogue's own operating system which hides more than a few perks, and then there are the adapters for all the other consoles.